WEP encryption. So I make sure that my wireless adapter is connected. And of course, we're gonna have to just make it sure that it's in the monitor mode. As you can see, I'm in the manage mode right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to run ifconfig to see I have no internet connection over here, but my WLAN O is connected. And I'm using the bridged adapter at this point, but I believe it won't be a problem if you're using a NAT network as well. Okay, once we go into the monitor mode, we will lose our connection in the WLAN O, but it doesn't matter for us because we're trying to break into this academic lab over here. And after we learn about the password, we can just connect to it later on by going into the manage mode, of course. So I'm gonna run airmon-ng start WLAN O, and without spelling this falsely, here you go. So I should be in the monitor mode right now. So let me just confirm this. Here you go. I'm in the monitor mode. So I'm ready to actually run the aerodump-ng like we did before. Okay, so I'm gonna run aerodump-ng, and let me just run the ifconfig to see my interface name. Yep, here we go. It's WLAN OMON. So you're gonna have to use your own interface name in this point. So aerodump-ng WLAN OMON, and here you go. Now I'm going to hit enter, and it will just gather the information around all the networks that are around us. So as you can see, we can actually spot the academic club over here, and as you can see, it's the only one with the WEP encryption right now. So here you go. So after you see this, by the way, after you see your target, you're more than welcome to hit Ctrl+C and stop this because we have what we need over here. Like we have the BSS ID, we have the ESS ID, and encryption here as well. Right now, since I see this, and by the way, this OPM is open, so this network doesn't even have a password. I can just connect to it. So it's an extender. As you can see, most probably one of my neighbors has installed this extender, but they forgot to put a password on it, so it's pretty unsafe at this point. So far, so good. Now I know that academic club is using WEP, and I know the BSS ID of that academic club, so we are good to go. Now I can get all the information over here and save it to a file. If you want, you can do that as well. But I'm sure that I'm not going to close this down and just don't lose that information. You can create a new tab on your terminal in order to do the rest of the work, or you can just save this and just go along with this terminal as well. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my folder, and I'm going to delete the older cap files that I have put over here by specifying --write, if you remember. Of course, if I want to write a cap file, I can just specify a new name, but I won't be even using them. So why we save them, right? So I'm going to delete this. If you want, you can delete your existing files as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run, first of all, let me open the new tab. As I said, I'm going to run aerodump-ng over here, but this time I'm going to run this against this BSS ID. So let me see the BSS ID from here. Yep, here you go. This is our target network. So I'm going to copy this and come over here and paste it. So after BSS ID, if I want to, I can just come over here and see the channel. Yeah, it has been changed. Great. So I believe it was in 8, now it's in 2. So it's good that we have actually seen that. Now I'm going to write this by specifying --write. So I'm going to call this web crack. You can just call it anything you want. And of course, I have to specify my interface name as well. So if you have written this, just hit enter, and it will just start this aerodump-ng process. So why are we doing this, by the way? I'm doing this because we will need that cap file, okay? So we will run the aircrack-ng against that cap file. And more importantly, in order to gather IVs, we need to have some sort of traffic going on inside of that network. As you can see, the number of data, number of packets being transmitted is increasing at this network. So it means that somebody is requesting something, somebody is getting some responses, someone is using the internet. And it's mostly the case, right? So if you're targeting a network, most probably there are some people connected to it and they are using it. But we will discuss what happens if they don't use it at all as well later on in the next lecture. But right now, I open my terminal, and as you can see, the data is increasing, so someone is using that internet. If in your house nobody is using internet right now, so maybe you can just go into Instagram in your phone, for example. Now I'm going to use this aircrack-ng, okay, aircrack-ng. So this is another tool that we can actually use, and I'm going to run this against the webcrack01 cap file. So this is the file that we are currently writing right now. I haven't closed down the previous terminal, as you can see. So all you gotta do is just write aircrack-ng and run this against the cap file that you are currently writing to. This aircrack-ng will do the IV gathering and will do that statistical matching that I have talked before. And as you can see, once I hit enter, it immediately found the key. It was very easy for it because let's be honest, this key is very easy, A1, B2, C, and actually it doesn't even matter if it's complex at this point because we are working with WEP and we don't rely on the complexity of password, we rely on the IVs that we gather. But the point over here is that there is a lot of traffic going on at this network right now, so I was able to gather IVs quickly. Okay, so this may take a little bit more for you, and by experimenting, you can try to increase the traffic in your network by connecting to it via your phone or a computer and trying to make some requests, and you will see that it will actually increase the speed of cracking because it will gather much more IVs. And by the way, we are seeing the ASCII over here, which is the password itself, but at the left-hand side, we also have the key font thing over here. So in the ASCII, maybe you won't see the ASCII, okay? Maybe you will see only this one, and this will work as well. So let me show you how it works. If you just delete the columns from here, like this, okay? If you delete the columns like this, and if you just copy this and paste it as a password, it will work as well, because this is kind of a hexadecimal representation of this password, so it's working pretty well. So whether you have the ASCII or not, you found the key if you follow these steps. And again, it may take a little bit longer. And by the way, I have used 64-bit encryption in my WEP. There's also an option for 128-bit encryption as well. At this time, you can go for longer passwords like 13-character passwords, and it won't make a difference at all. Maybe it may take a little bit longer for you to crack the password, but if you gather the IVs at like a sufficient amount, then it means that you can crack it. And finally, I'm just going to stop all of these things. So if you didn't stop, you can just hit Ctrl+C on both terminals. Now we are ready. But we